When me and a couple of officers were standing outside, we actually saw a blast in the air, and one missile had hit an aircraft. And in front of my eyes, it had got charred black, completely black. Heard the first shot, we looked up, completely black. Second shot, and it was down.
Major Prajakta Desai is the first female officer of the Indian Army to be a UAV observer pilot. She was 8 when she saw the dream of serving the nation and didn't stop till she made it her reality. Be it the Pulwama attacks or the Galwan attacks, she's always kept the country first. In fact, even now, after retirement, she continues to train young girls and inspires them to join the army. And to all those who say girls can't, she has just one thing to say. First, fly like a girl. Welcome to the Humans of Bombay show, Major Prajakta Desai. We're so excited to have somebody like you in the office.
Thank you so much. It's indeed my pleasure.
Yeah.
I had got associated with your team last year, and again being called here live in your office, it's a privilege for me.
So sweet. Thank you. And we hope that we can decode a little bit about what brought you to this point with the medals and with everything that you've built through your journey. So very excited. I'm going to start with a question that we were all like, whoa, we can't believe she said that. You were in the academy in 2010.
Yes.
When you actually got on call with your father and said, only call me if somebody dies. That's a very strong and powerful statement to make. It shows so much of intent. It shows that you were there for a purpose. Talk to us a little bit about that period in your life. You know, it was your first day at the
Yes,
academy.
yes.
What was life like then?
So I'll tell you, I've never had a very easy childhood. We had our financial struggles equally. And being the eldest one, I had to shoulder the responsibilities very early because I have 2 younger siblings. And in my first attempt, when I was trying to get into the armed forces, I badly failed. And that was all because of my overconfidence and a lot of things going on in my head, like, I was in my early 20s, a kind of a teenager, I will feel, when you're not sure of what's going to happen in life, but you're always bubbling with that overconfidence. So, because of that, I did not clear my first attempt. And seeing the condition at my home, I knew that, I have no chance to fail, or I cannot get years go by, or my chances go by. So, when I got through in the second time, I went to the academy. My parents honestly did not have the money even to, accompany me to Chennai. I remember my father getting me for the first time ever AC ticket, third class AC ticket, third AC, yes. And he had some friend over there in Chennai who was supposed to receive me at the railway station, help me take a cab till St. Thomas Mount. That's where, near the airport, where the academy is. So when I took this entire journey alone till Mumbai to Chennai, I realized what all my parents had gone through and what I was going on embarking a new journey. I said, if I mess up or even I, fail somewhere in my entire training process, I would have to pay really heavy prices for it.
Yeah.
So when I went into the academy, I did not have a phone on my own because phones are not allowed in the academy. I took the phone of a helper over there, the housekeeper who was sweeping the floor. I requested for a phone, and all I could remember was my father's mobile number. I called him up. I said in Marathi that I have reached. Papa, I called my father Papa. I have reached. I said, unless and until somebody dies, do not call up in the academy. And trust me, these was my words, because I knew they shouldn't be worrying for what's going to happen. Academy schedules are so stringent, and we are on purpose, kept away from speaking to our loved ones for some time, because obviously all parents are so concerned. So if a child goes and says that, I get maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, I'm not able to eat my food on time, there's so much of physical exertion, there are chances that the parents may tell the child to come back.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why we are supposed to get our self cut off from our loved ones for a certain period of time. But before the academy could do it, I did it for myself. I told him, please don't call up. I gave him the number of the adjutant. That is one of the important appointments of one of the officer in the academy. And I said, just when only someone dies, please ring me up. I will be calling you up after a month. So it was a short and brief conversation I had with my father. I was with a very heavy heart, because, you leave everything behind and you just go with one suitcase kind of a thing, a bag, just to make up your career.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a short conversation I had with my father, and yes, that had created a real big impact on me.
And you began this journey because of Border. You actually
Yes.
watched that movie and decided that this is what I want to be.
Yes.
जब आपने ये decide किया तो घर पे लोगों ने क्या कहा? I mean, not when you were 8, but when you were older, और ये एक serious career option हो गया आपके मन में, तब आपके family ने क्या कहा आपको?
I'll tell you, I've always seen my family was ahead of their time. So by the time I grew up and I said I want to join the armed forces, the first reaction was they were extremely happy. So they were telling my daughter will be wearing olive greens and having stars on her shoulders. Wow. That was the first thing ever my parents said. And in spite of many people saying, you know, are you sure you want to let your daughter go here? Because since the time she will be in the army till she retires, she won't be with you all. My parents were all open for it. Yeah.
And how was life in the academy?
Oh, academy is... so I thought I was well prepared for the academy. But trust me, Karishma, when you go into the academy, it's altogether a different thing. You come from any strata of society. You might be from a humble background or you might be from a privileged background. Some are Fauji kids, some are civilian, completely civilian. But you know, you are all brought down to one single platform. We all start from zero. And our day used to start as early, officially I would say, as early as 6, that is official. But we used to get up at around 3 or 4 o'clock. And it used to end by night 10.
Why would you get up at 3 or 4 o'clock?
Because we used to stay in barracks. So we need to get up early, get dressed, yes, use the washroom, give place to everybody else as well. To be very honest, out of 24 hours, 18 hours is where we are literally occupied. We have our PT, we have our drill. Then we will get back, we'll have our breakfast. So I'm just trying to tell you the schedule like. Then we'll have proper classes, like how you have a college. Similarly, you have your classes, which go all till 1:30.
What are some of the subjects that you learn?
Okay, we learn tactics, that is military strategies and military tactics. Then you have field engineering, how are mines made, how are mines laid. Then you have administration as well, because in peacetime, what are the different rules? How do you ensure that, you know, all the pay and perks are given to your jawans? Or how your security of your base will be done? How are you procuring stuff? So logistic part as well. That is done. Then you have military history.
Do you remember the first time you held a weapon?
Yes.
And what was that feeling like?
So the first time, I'll tell you, I'm actually a very timid child. I was, probably not now. I used to even get scared to, you know, burn crackers in Diwali. Trust me, मैंने आज तक वो atom bomb जो होता है, वो आज तक मैंने नहीं use किया, फोड़ा, I will say, in Diwali, because I was terribly scared. But when I went into the academy, there was one thing going on in my head, Prajakta. If you show your fear in front of 100 people today, you will never be able to overcome it. So when we had our INSAS firing, we were there on a short range, and my turn was coming up. My heart was throbbing very badly because this was the first time I'm going to do it. But as instructed, you know, I just paid attention to the target over there. That's the bullseye. This is the alignment you have to do with your weapon and hold it firmly, because you sometimes get a recoil.
Yeah.
And the first round that I fired, the first bullet that went down, it did ring a bell in my ears. But then, yes, after that it got comfortable. But the most scariest one was firing a rocket launcher. Now that's a 16 kilo stuff. And it has a back blast from where you'll, you know, literally see the fire coming, kind of a fire, which will go 15 meters. And you do it in pairs because it's very heavy. So there's somebody holding you from back. So when my colleague, my coursemate, she was firing, I was trying to close my ear. Now today I don't feel shy telling it because, you know, the time is past.
Yeah.
I was trying to cover my ear, and my ustad from there, the instructor, was shouting my name. They used to call me Desai. Desai, remove your hands off your ears. You're not supposed to remove your hands. We're not allowed to even plug our ears with cotton or have the ear defenders. No. It's just to overcome the fear of that heavy sound, because one must get used to it if you have chosen to come in this career. Yeah. So first time when she was firing, it was really scary. I actually felt that my lower body was not there, because the back blast is so heavy that the air gushes literally out from the lower portion, like from the ground, and you feel that your lower body is not there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but once you're firing, that's more pretty comfortable, because again you're looking at you're looking at the target. So your target is your concentration and not, you know, the back blast and all when you're doing it in tandem. So yeah.
And do you remember what your first posting was like? And
yes.
What it felt like to be posted, right? Like now you're officially defending the country. So, what was that feeling like? And was there ever a fear, right? Like that, what could happen tomorrow, or like, will I be in a situation like that puts my life in danger?
Yes. So I was posted at Jodhpur. That was a peace station for
Yeah.
me. I was part of Army Air Defense. We have to do a deputation for a year because I was commissioned in Army Aviation. When I went into my unit, you go as a lieutenant there, you feel that you've achieved a lot in your life. But you go there, you realize you're the baby of the unit. Yeah, because you're younger by age. With experience, you are the last one. I mean, with zero experience. Your subordinates are also JCOs, double your age, and they have seen wars. So they have that kind of an experience which you don't have.
Yeah.
So even if you go as an officer there, you have to earn your ranks. So initially, I didn't have that fear that, one day I may have to lay down my life and all. No. I had that fear that how can I go and make my mark in my unit? Because when you go there, your Jawans will respect you. Why? Because you're wearing the uniform. They're bound to salute you. But have you earned their respect? Have you earned that salute? So I would, literally, and with no women in the Jawans cadre, we had only men. So the men's physical capabilities are also different. Whatever people may say today, I honestly say we cannot equate the two.
Yeah.
So when I was, a young lieutenant, I used to make it a point for PT. I used to run with my men. At times I couldn't catch them, but they had that similar kind of, they used to reciprocate in the same way of matching their pace with me, so that we run as a team. I used to play basketball with them. I used to try playing handball or volleyball, go in their mess and have food with them. So slowly and steadily, I wanted to be a part or, create a bond. So I started doing these things. And the best part in armed forces, I'll tell you, they do not call us ma'am or sir. They call us sahab. And because they say, and it is a saying that goes that ऑफिसर का जेंडर नहीं होता. एक जो ऑफिसर है वो लड़का या लड़की नहीं होती, वो एक ऑफिसर होता है. सो दे यूज्ड टू कॉल मी देसाई साहब.
So you were telling me offline, and I feel like the offline conversations are always sometimes more interesting than
Yes.
the actual podcast. So I'm going to ask you this. Two things you said very interesting. One is that every meal would be 2 minutes to
Yeah.
maximum of 5 minutes.
Yes.
Why? And talk to us a little bit about that culture within the academy and the institution.
So in the academy, we have proper messes, where you need to go in a proper attire. We used to have a muftis, shirt, trouser, completely ironed. I mean, one crease. There cannot be an extra crease anywhere.
Otherwise, you're punished.
Yeah, right. You got that. Now, in the mess also, proper mess etiquettes where you have your table napkin, fork and spoon, and you have with all your etiquettes, but we are just given 2 to 5 minutes. And sometimes it's like 30 seconds mess out. Mess out means a time where you just cop down your food, whatever possible, but with all the etiquettes that you have. Fork and spoon, you cannot place your hands on your food like this. And you cannot even place your hands on the table. You need to eat like this, put your hand on. And then move out. So basically, might sound a little funny, but basically all these things are done to make you adaptable. How quickly you can adapt to different situations.
Let's talk about some of your interesting postings. You've been a part of a lot of evacuations. What is that like? And can you tell us one of the evacuations that have really stayed with you in terms of impact?
So I would say the best posting ever I had was in JNK when I was posted in Sharifabad. That's a place like 40 minutes away from Srinagar, and it is counterinsurgencies area. So quite a hot area. And I was a part of Army Aviation. So missions used to keep happening every time.
You've been part of evacuations. You were also on high alert. Your unit was on high alert when the Balakot strikes had happened. In all of these situations, what is your mindset, right? Like, of course, your first and foremost priority is the country and the defense of the country. But what goes through your mind when something like this happens?
So I'll tell you a little bit about the Balakot incident. May not be able to give all the details, providing, it's confidential things. So we were aware that after the Balakot strike, there might be some retaliation by the enemy. So we were all ready. A month prior only, we were having our bunkers dug into the ground, 6 feet or maybe more than that, so that it could house so many people at a time. 2 days prior, I was instrumental in getting all the air defense guns laid because I am from Army Aviation. So we have these kind of airports.
Yeah.
So we call it airbase airfield, smaller ones because only helicopters operate from there. So the entire location becomes a vital point for any aircraft to attack it, enemy aircraft. Why? Because such installations have fuel dumps, they have assets. Just imagine if you are destroying the assets of a particular place, they will not, like runway, they won't be able to fly, or helicopters are only destroyed, the hangars are destroyed by the helicopter case, or worse come worse, even the fuel dump is destroyed, the location won't stay. 28th of February 2019, right, 2:30 we were there deploying the guns, I remember, and we got uh, intelligence that something may happen the next day.
Yeah.
So that was the period 2 to 4 wala,
Yeah.
that it may happen. So I couldn't get sleep. And next day morning, nothing happened. Nothing happened as such. So next day morning, when I went to the unit, completely tired, but again, everybody was on high alert in rotation, because if the timeline is given 2 to 4, doesn't mean it will happen then.
Yeah.
It can happen up,
Any
down,
point,
anytime.
Yeah.
Very much unexpected. At around 10 a.m., we got the information that the enemy aircraft had crossed over. And at the same time, when me and a couple of officers were standing outside, we actually saw a blast in the air. And one missile had hit an aircraft. And in front of my eyes, it had got charred black, completely black. Heard the first shot, we looked up, completely black. Second shot, and it was down. And my CEO, my 2IC, that the commanding officer and the second in command, they took the gypsy and went to see what it was, whether it was an airstrike or it was an IED blast, because J&K is a place where these things happen. And because we all knew that there's
Yeah.
something like this going to happen, there was a siren. We were having our drills in place, so a siren was on.
Sounded, yeah.
Yeah, it was sounded, and everybody, the drill was, whenever the siren is sounded, everybody is, it's an airstrike, everybody has to move to the bunker. Now till then, nobody was aware whether it's an airstrike that has happened, because we saw an aircraft getting hit and dropping down, or whether it's ID, nothing. So my CO and 2IC went to see, and in that specific block, because we have blocks,
Yeah.
space is really big. So in that specific block, I think I was the alone officer. And trust me, that time my heart was beating like anything, because first thing that came into my mind was, probably this is my last day, because this seems to be an air attack, because that's what was going on. We were having these drills.
Yeah.
One of my Jawan, what I told my entire unit, in that location, that please go back and stay in your bunkers. So I told my Jawan, he's a runner, he's actually called the runner, who's just responsible for, giving the messages and helping out. So I told him, आप चले जाओ, मैं आती हूँ. That Jawan told me, नहीं साहब, मैं आपके लिए रुकूंगा, आप आ जाओ. I don't know how much that loyalty or love that you have
Yeah.
for each other. I said, okay, fine. I just dropped the phone. We both ran out, evacuated everybody who were in the office, everyone. And second thing, that day I realized that when army puts you through all that rigorous training, mental, or, I would say challenging your mental capabilities every time, getting you to adapt to environments, is because for this day, if you wouldn't be wired to behave in such a way, if you wouldn't be wired to think for your men first, I think I would be the first one running into the bunker if I was not trained.
And you have another parallel angle of your life which also has a lot of unpredictability. You are married to an army officer.
Yes.
What is that like?
Oh.
Because I know that there have been years when you all have met only 3 times a year.
Yes.
And he's on duty
Yes.
as well. So what is that like?
Whenever I used to go for any activity, he used to not tell me. See, I at times know I'm a Fauji, he's a Fauji, anything can happen. When my mother-in-law, till date, she feels very heavy that we leave the house, I always tell her, I said, I have accepted that one day one of us might not come back. I said, it's for you also to accept it. I said, every time when we go, don't be emotional.
Yeah.
Things will go fine. So I used to think I'm that strong. And as a Fauji, if you tell me, yes, my husband is gone for an ambush or he's gone for some recce, it's fine for me. And there have been certain instances with him. After that, he stopped telling. Because when you are on the line of control, there's a lot of firing that gets exchanged.
Yeah.
And my husband told me that day when the firing started, the JCO came and called him. He said, I was moving out and I forgot to take my helmet. He's like, but I don't know what happened. He's like, generally, I go with my helmet and I forgot. And I was a little reluctant कि ठीक है, हमेशा कुछ नहीं होता, आज भी कुछ नहीं होगा. So I'll just go ahead करके. And then a person came running and gave him the helmet. साहब अपने helmet भूल गए. He put his helmet, he moved ahead. He told me that there was a round shot. The splinters had scattered everywhere that chipped off his helmet. And he was telling me, had I not, worn the helmet, or had my Jawan not come and given me the helmet, I wouldn't have been alive. It literally chipped off a huge part of his helmet. And this thing, what he told me was in, 2020 or 21, when he was serving till 2019 there. After 2 years, he told me that. And that day, when we were at the dining table, my parents were there. We were literally quiet for 10-15 minutes. Like, that how strong army makes you as a human, that you hide such things from your own loved ones, and you hide such things from your own partner, your spouses, so that, you do not stress them out. Yeah. These things keep happening, but I feel, at the end of the day, I've always believed in the Almighty. Always. I'm a very spiritual person, and I knew He has right plans for us. So I've always kept my fingers crossed whenever He's gone. And later, after that incident, I just avoided asking him also, and he also didn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's better
Unsaid.
Unsaid, yes, better unsaid.
And you've obviously retired from the
Yes.
army. What about your husband? Is he still serving?
He's still serving, yes.
So what is that like now? Because you've been there.
Yes.
You've seen it, you know what could happen. And now you're no longer an officer. Now you're a wife.
Yeah.
Or, there's so much more to your life that we will discuss. I know that you're participating in something very exciting in the
Yes.
next month. But you're now first a spouse, later an army officer.
Yes.
So how is that feeling?
Oh, I have completely gone into that role, I never thought I would be, because I'm also working in a corporate now, and it's work from home.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly in the house. But I never knew I could do that. I have taken the role of a complete wife. I want my house to be in certain way. I want food to be in certain way. I wait for him till he comes and we can have our meals together. I keep complaining and nagging that you don't have time for me, in spite of knowing that I've been on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's more of a bittersweet kind of a thing, and I'm really liking it. Why? Because we'll complete 9 years of our marriage this November.
Yeah.
And we had stayed away from like around 6 to 7 years we were away from each other. So now I feel, it's once again like a new couple. We are just trying to once again get to know each other and live our life.
It was your dream to be participating in Miss World when
Yes.
you were young.
Yes.
Then you joined the army, and now you're going to be part of Mrs. India,
Yes.
which is coming up. So it's like you can do and be everything, and it's fascinating. I can't even imagine how excited you are. Please talk to us about that dream that you're fulfilling.
So honestly, this is a dream which I've nurtured for 30 long years, and I'm not joking. So when I was a kid, you always, girls, when we have seen Shushmita, Aishwarya winning, or anybody coming and even telling you look pretty, the first thing that used to go on somebody's health is either I become
Miss India.
a Miss India or I become an actor.
Yeah.
So participating in Miss India was on my head, and as a child I used to have this hobby of cutting pictures of models, beauty pageant winners, and put them in my books. And I still have those books. There's 6 to 7 books. I've still kept it. But no, you need to be of a certain height and beauty standards to be part of Miss India, and I was not that tall. So I was like, okay, chalo. This is one part of thing I couldn't achieve in my life.
Yeah.
And I knew that if it's about a career, it's always the armed forces.
Yeah.
So when I completed, and recently I came across Mrs. India INC, just season 4, I'm for the 4th season. So I saw that and I said, why not? They do not have any rigid beauty standards. They're not defining somebody by their physical
Yeah,
appearances.
like their height or
Yes, height, weight, and all. So I said, why not? So
I think that this entire piece has just at least told me that you can do, be, or have anything at any time. There's no restriction. All your dreams are there for the
Yes.
taking. So good luck on yours. We're going to talk about the next segment, which is show and tell. So is there anything or any particular object or item that you want to show our viewers on a special memory or something
Yes,
special to your
yes,
journey?
I do have it. So I have got around these 4 things, and they are very, very special to me because all of them represent my qualification, or I would say represents my identity, what I had in the Indian Army. The first one is, of course, our Indian Army
Yeah.
flag, and I was so proud because I have worn the tricolor always on my uniform.
Wow.
So when I got commissioned into the Army Aviation as a working uniform, also you wear overalls, irrespective whether you're flying or not. All those are involved in ground duties also wear a overall, and on that you can proudly don your tricolor. So this is something very close to my heart, and I'll be also carrying it in next month when I go
Into
for
the
my
pageant.
yes,
Yeah.
because this is something is my identity. I feel I am
Yeah.
very, very proud to say that I am born in this country, and I'm happy that I am able to have this every day with me.
Yeah.
So my tricolor is one. Second thing is this controller's badge.
Wow.
So this is given to all the air traffic controllers. So once you get qualified as an air traffic controller, this is the badge. You're authorized to wear it on your uniform on the right side. Uh, Third thing, this is a UAV badge. So
Wow.
UAV is an unmanned aerial vehicle. So you would be aware of drones. So drones are really tiny. It's actually a huge aircraft. It can occupy this entire room. It has a brain of its own, all its sophisticated avionics. Just that there are no humans sitting in it. So that's why it's called unmanned aerial vehicle. And in 2020, I had the honor of becoming the first woman UAV observer pilot of
Yeah.
Indian Army. And once you become or you get qualified and you clear all your exams, you are given this to be worn on your uniform. And lastly, this is one of the most special one. This is given by my instructor. This is a UAV. So this is how actually it looks like.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the I would say a miniature
So
kind of a
cool.
one. This is the UAV. My instructor had given it to me. It's a gold-plated one. He had got it from Israel. And because I became the first woman officer and cleared my
Yeah.
UAV, so my instructor had given this to me. And it's very close because when the one who's taught you, the one who has seen that potential in you, gives you something, it's like, हम उनको कोई गुरु दक्षिणा नहीं दे सकते, but this is what he's given us. So that was a very big thing for me.
I mean, I don't know what to say. It's filled with patriotism
Yes.
and huge achievements. So big congratulations.
Thank
to
you so much.
Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for showing these to us. It's the first time I'm seeing like 3 out of 4 is the first time. So thank you so much. And most importantly, thank you for your service. And
Thank you so much.
I hope this encourages more girls to take up being in the army because it's
Yes.
especially for a woman.
Yes.
And after that, now that you're going into the Mrs. India pageant, it means that you can be both ends of the spectrum and it's totally fine.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey. It's been an absolute honor and thank you for your service. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I just wanted to share just one small thing.
Yeah.
Especially to the young generation, one should not be scared to achieve what they want. I feel in this world people will come and tell you that your dreams are too big or they are too small, but at times we should be cognizant of the fact that I know what my capabilities are.
Yeah.
You can be everywhere, actually. Say, as you said, you can be wherever you want. You just got one life.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts? Your energy follows thoughts. What your thoughts are, you become. So if you have thought of becoming something in life, if you dreamt of something, students or the young generation must go and achieve it, irrespective of what the world says.
Yeah. And I hope that your story does that because it has. Like I'm feeling super inspired. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank you so much, Karishma.
Thank you. Thank you for being the best community, and we'll see you in the next one.